Welcome, my dear students. Welcome, all my dear students, in another lecture about the global logistic management, the global logistic management. And we will go here actually through some points that we'd like to talk about today about the rule of the supply chain. We'll start by the rule of the source of this book. The source, I wrote it for you guys. It's here down, and I kept it here. And I will send the link for all of you. The rule of the supply chain has been defined as the sequences of events in a good flow, which adds value to the value of the specific good. Because these events may include conversion, assembling two parts together, whatever, and or disassembling. And movement and placement, the global supply chain crosses international boundaries. Global supply chain is not only in one country, but it is between two countries. So when you pass the borders or cross the borders, that means that you are talking about global work or global supply chain. Cool, that's fine. The only thing I just want to say here actually is about the we'll move to another point right now about the global logistic operator. The global logistic operator concentrates on 6 key areas. The first area is strategic solution to the problems of the long distance product sourcing and movement. This is achieved actually by matching the client business needs to the latest techniques and expertise to formula solutions to the problem of long distance product sourcing and movement. Okay. The second point of the core of the global logistic is the companies that can provide capabilities interface across a range of different transport modes, including sea, road, rail, canal, and so on. So expect in the global logistic that you will have a variety of transportations. 3, improvements in quality of services to end customers. This is the basic main aim or task for any system. 4, improvement in profit realized through all the marketing and financial benefits. 5, management of trade-offs within the supply chain. 6, a fully outsourced logistic management services. So that is what we have here regarding the global logistic. The global logistic operates focus attention on the 4 key service areas detailed below. What are they? What are the global logistic operators? What they focus upon? They focus upon the supply chain management. They focus on the vendor management involving the process or the processing of customers' orders direct to their supplies and monitoring the production process. They focus also on the information featuring receipt of customers and so on. They focus on the communication with their own clients. They focus on also delivery and customs clearance. Those points are very important for working as globally. So this will be very important to work in global systems. This was about the global logistic system. When we compare between the domestic global system and the domestic means local and the international, we find that the national logistic operators serving the local indigenous market usually had the advantage of being aware of the structure of the market. Yes, because this is my country and I know what's going on in it and I know everything around it. The international logistic operators is designing the supply chain parameters several countries. When you work in global logistic, you are not working in one country, but rather you are working in many countries and may extend to several thousand miles. The international logistic operators must be competent in all areas of the global supply chain. Yes, actually, to be working globally, you must know about the countries which you will trade with. As example, you must know everything about the logistic systems. You know everything about the environment, the political environment, the social environment, the economic environment. All environments around you should be aware of. We moved after this into international trade law. And logistic people who are working or companies that are working in global logistics, they must be aware of the international trade law. And I think, my dear students, we talk about the international law in one of our own lectures, and we talk about the international trade as well. So we must be at least have an idea about Vienna Convention, about the product liability, which is the liability of the producer of a product which, owing to a defect, causes injury, damage, or loss to the ultimate user. Okay, so I'm responsible about any problem regarding the product. Intellectual property, the rights, the copyrights, and so on. And you must be aware of it. You must be aware about the patents and the design and the protection. All these points are very important for companies who are working in global logistics. You must know about the copyrights, and we had a lecture about the copyrights, which gives you the right, the creator or original literary, dramatic, musical, and artistic works. You must also know about the trademarks, and this is globally is very important, are signs that distinguish goods and services of one trader from those of others. For example, the content of a washing powder sold under a particular registered trademark. Any mark, anything, Sony, Sonia, National, anything, Honda, Toyota, all those are brand marks, and those all are trademarks which is registered for its owner. And if you imitate it, this will cause a big problem. The protocol to the Madrid Agreement is a system for the international registration of trademarks. Also, who work globally must be very aware about what are the important points that should be done in the global logistic systems. He must be very fully aware of the employment law. Employment law in both it's criminal and the civil law. So, and he must know also, he must be aware of the host country and the mother country's law. Like you see here as example, the weeds in Canada is legally okay, but in other countries, it leads to jail and prison. So everybody must know about and every company which is working globally must know very well about the employment law as well. Globalization and international trade environment. One thing I want to tell you that we are living in an environment. This environment, we cannot deny ourselves from. We cannot live in isolation out of the environment around us. That environment can be political environment, social environment, economic environment, religion or religious environment, cultural environment, and it can be also and each environment of those is very unique for each country. So this is also a new thing that will be carried on upon the shoulder of the companies which will work in global systems, because they must be very fully aware of the environment in each country they will trade in. By other meaning, where they export or import from. So they must be very fully aware about the systems itself, because this also affects the transportation system and the warehousing system. So this will affect those companies as well. Here we'll move into factors and challenges driving logistics and supply chain management. The factors driving global and supply chain management. But actually, before that, we must go to some questions here. We'll take some questions right now for this chapter or chapter 1. Then we'll move to chapter 2 after this. If we say, here we say copy text, and I will say, what is the rule of the supply chain? What is the rule of supply chain? This is my first question today for you, my dears. And I will stop here like around 1 minute, 5 minutes to take the answers from you, dears. And then we will go to the second question. So this was the first question that we covered today. What is the rule of the supply chain? What is the rule of the supply chain? Okay. We'll stop here like around 5 minutes, and you can have here also in front of you the answer of that question. Okay, my dears, we'll go to the second part now after this. We're talking about the global logistic system, the global logistic operators. What do they concentrate upon? What will they concentrate upon? So this is our second question today. Focus upon what? What they focus upon? What do they focus upon? Those around the global logistic operators, what do they focus upon? What are their points of interest? And I will put here, this is the answer of the question mostly. So I'll give you 5 minutes to read it and to take notes and to search Google Classroom as well. So we'll move now to the second part or the third question today. We had now the question, the global logistic operators focus upon what? What is the focus? And we said the focus is about the strategic solutions for the problems of the long distance. Don't forget this, about the companies that can provide capabilities interfaced across a range of different transport modes, including sea, road, rail. So they care about these companies, how they work. Third, they focus upon the improvement in quality of services to the end customers, how far the consumer will be happy and satisfied with that services. For improvement in profit realized through all the marketing and financial benefits to the user. Fifth, of their own focus of the people who work on global logistics, management of trade-offs within the supply chain. They try to improve their management skills so that to work effectively globally. A fully outsourced logistic management services. Also, that's what they look for. Okay. Also, they focus on 4 key services on the supply chain management, like we said, and the vendor management, information, and communication. Those are also they focus about the delivery. Those are the points which they focus around in the global logistics system. And that's what we talk about. If we compare between, now I'll take this question. This is my third question today. Control and V, compare between. Say compare between national, domestic, and international or global, international or global logistic. So you have to compare between them. My dears, also Google search is full of very satisfied answers. You can also Google search it and you will find a good satisfactory answers for this question. Compare between national, domestic, and global logistic. We'll stay here for around 5 minutes to get the answer of this question. Thank you so much. Then we will move. Compare between national, domestic, and global logistic. Like we see here now, we said the difference. The national logistic operator serving the local indigenous markets only, but the international or global are working between countries or overseas. The international logistic operator or the global in designing the supply chain parameters several countries and may extend to several thousand miles. But this is not there in the local system. The international logistic operator must be competent in all the areas of the global supply chain. That's true. He must be competing very well. He knows the other companies which are working in the same field. And we said also that the global equals 3 things: production, transportation, warehousing. So when we talk about the logistic, we say production, transportation, and warehousing. Those are the 3 main activities. Okay, so he must be always also aware of the countries which he will, or the company the global logistic company will work in. So I'm working, as example, I'm here in Canada and I'm having global logistic systems with Brazil, China. So I have to know everything about Brazil and I have to know everything about the China. Also, he must know about the international trade law, at least about Vienna Convention, the product liability, the intellectual property, the patents, and the designs. He should know about this. He should know about the copyrights, and he should know about the trademarks and protocol, Madrid protocol. He should know also about the employment law, as we said before, because this means he must know both the criminal and the civil law. So I'm Canadian here, and I have overseas operations like a transportation company between Canada and China. So I have to know the employment law in Canada and the employment law in China as well. But if I'm working domestically, means inside Canada, only I will know about the employment law of Canada. Okay. Globalization and the international trade environment, like we said before, the environment is full of, we have political environment, social environment, and political, social, cultural environments, and the economical environment, all those are affecting on the world. Shall stop here now. Let's end this video here, and we'll see you on the next video. From me to you all the respect, and have a good night.